Hi there, welcome back to JD Answers. Today I have another rear view mirror dash cam installation, and I'm going to show you step by step on how to install this front and rear dash cam into your vehicle. And as you can see here, that this comes with a mount, and which means you don't have to use any straps to this. And in the top right, I'm going to put a link for you to show you step by step on how to put the mount together. Normally I will put it together one video, but then this video will go over 45 minutes. So to save you time, and if you don't need to install a mount to your vehicle, then you can skip this link. Okay, you can see where the mount is, and this is what we have to take out, this rear view mirror, and we got to work with this mount. This is the bottom of the mount, and you can see it has a little opening there. And that's where we got to put the screwdriver in to push up and then to pull it out. All right, I'm going to put the screwdriver in, and it's got to loosen something. I'm going to push it in towards the dashboard. I'm going to push it in rather than pull it out first, and then I'm going to work it out. There it goes. Got it right out of there. So what I did is I pushed it inward, then I pulled out with the screwdriver in there. So again, push in and then pull it out. And that's how I was able to get that out. All right, the mount's here. So now we're ready to install the dash cam. We already got it assembled, and all we got to do is simply just slide it in there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to position it, and you see how it's just sliding in there, and it's already in there. That's how easy it is to install this. All I got to do now is tighten up this screw in the middle. All right, putting pressure on it. It's not coming out. That's how simple this is. So all we got to do now is just start installing the wires now. That's all we got to do. All right, here's the way it looks. Push that to the side. You can see it on the top there, underneath, it's on. All right, so what we're going to do now is start installing the wires and the micro SD card. And the micro SD card is what I'm going to install first. I'm just going to set that in there and just try to put it in there with my nails. Just remember, these are a push down motion, so you just got to push them in there and they'll go in. You could probably use your nails or a credit card that goes on the side of it and just push it in there. All right, so what I like to do is always start with the rear camera. I like to get that one out of the way. That way if there's any slack, well, it's in the trunk area. So I'm going to go ahead and start that cable. All right, I got the mini USB cable, which is for the rear camera. And I'm going to go ahead and install that one in there. Now you notice how it's going towards the driver's side. It's because it wants you to route it towards the driver's side. The power cable will be routed to the passenger side. All right, so I got the rear cable, and what I'm going to do now is just install it between the headliner and the window shield. There's always about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch space. Now sometimes there'll be some areas where you can't even push it in there because it's very tight. And usually just push down on the headline a little bit and it could go in there. If not, you could find an area where it's more loose, like right here, and I could start there. And that's all you got to do is push it right in between. And I'll get you a closer look of that. Let me give you a closer look exactly what we're doing. And right here you see the headliner and the window shield, and you can see that space. Now this is a 2001 Toyota Camry, so this car is over 20 years old, and you can see some of the headliner here, but that's just because it's an older car. Your car is not going to have that. And all you're doing is getting the wire and you're pushing down on the headliner. You see that? And you're tucking in the wire with the other hand. And you can see how the headliner goes down a little bit there. And that's all you're doing is pushing the wire between the window shield and the headliner. All right, I'm going to continue with the rear cable going towards the A-pillar. All right, so now I'm going to do is start on the A-pillar. All right, so from the A-pillar, this is one whole piece. So what I got to do is just pull this part off. Now, this came off easy because I do this all the time. Yours might be a little snug, but just remember, all these have clips. So you're just pulling down with the clips. You could pull from here in the side or from this lever. That's all you got to do. Now, if your car has a separation here from the A pillar to the headliner trim, then all you got to do again is just pull this part down and go in there. This does not have airbags. Yours may have airbags. It doesn't matter, you're going on top of them. It's not going to affect the airbags at all. All right, so now that I have this piece down, I could go ahead and finish routing this and putting this underneath the headliner. All right, which I have it here. So now from the headliner, it's going to go to underneath the trim here. And that's what I want. It's going to go sit right on top of this trim here, piece here. And let me do that. All right, so now that I got it in here, because remember, it's going up towards the rear of the vehicle, the trunk. So I'm going to go ahead and just push this back in there. The cable in there, get this piece together. So now I've got to do just work towards the B pillar. Now the B pillar separates the front seat to the back seat. Okay, so I'm working my way towards the back again. This is the B pillar again, like I told you about. Some cars have separation here and some have a separation here. Doesn't matter because we're still going to go to the top of this. So let's continue with that. Now the B pillar is probably a little tighter. I'm going to push that down. And I'm going to roll the cord with me with one hand and then push it in with the other. I'm simply going to tuck it in with my fingers. All right, so now I could just work on this piece here. Push that down in there and close this back up. And now I could continue towards the C pillar. All right, so I got the wire here and I'm going to continue going to the C pillar. Now the C pillar is between the back seat and the trunk area. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm going to continue putting the wire in there, holding it with one hand and insert it with the other. Okay, so now I'm going to do with the C pillar is I'm going to work my way down. So I'm going to pull this piece out. Sometimes they're a little tight. There you go. You can pull this off, then I could go down. And I'm going to show you how I'm doing that. All right, this is how it looks. I got the wire inside the piece there. And what I'm doing is I'm going to go right here. You see, this is from the bottom trim to the top portion of this pillar's at, to the back seat here. And then I'm going to go is push the wire behind here. And since this C pillar is loose, I'm going to pick it up and simply push the wire behind there. What I want to do is get it behind any clips it has, and I think I did that already. So now I just route this wire behind the back seat. But let's go ahead and close this part up. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put this seat down. And what I'm doing is I'm pulling it down because that's where I'm going to route the wire into the trunk area. Now for my car, all I got to do is push the wire behind there. This is an older car, so this one's going to come up a little bit loose. See how that's loose? And all I got to do is route the wire behind there. Your vehicle may be different. Just look at your vehicle. Just look how you could route the wires behind there. And usually you could just push it behind this. And usually they're not too tight on there, which actually I'll get my hand in there. And I got it right here. And all I got to do is just push the wire out from there. And let me show you what I did. And you can see the wire behind there right here. So this piece is done. All right, so all I got to do now is route the wires inside the trunk area on the bottom and then get into the back. All right, so I got the wire here. And I'm simply just going to push up this carpet area and push the wire underneath there so I can work my way to the back of the trunk area. All right, so now I'm inside the trunk. So now I can work back in there now. This is a rear view mirror dash cam. So of course we're going to use a backup function for it, in which we need to hook up that red wire. So we're going to come up the trunk area into this hinge here. And so let's go ahead and work on that next. All right, so what I'm going to do is get the wire. I'm going to continue routing it to the bottom here. And actually what I'm going to do is pull this part up. Now your car may have clips on the side, mine's don't. If you need to remove the clips to get to the back of this, then do that. So I'm going to do is pull this out. I'm going to put the wire behind there so we could come up to this part right here, because this is where the trunk hinge is at. All right, I'm going to push that back together and close this part up. All right, so that part's done. And now what I'm going to do is put some zip ties here to this area here. I'm going to zip tie all this together so we can work to the top of the trunk. I got these zip ties on and I didn't cut them yet, so you can see exactly where I put them. And this is where it's at. And I'm going to go ahead now, once I cut these, work into the license plate light, because that's where the wire is going to go in. So let's do that next. All right, I got the adhesive on the mount, and what I'm going to do is just take off the adhesive now on the other side so we could go ahead and mount this where we need to. All right, there you go. And what I'm going to do is mount it centered to the emblem here, right there. And I'm going to center this dash cam there. And I'm going to put it, I think I got it in there. It looks straight. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up that dash cam and just push it down now. Push it down. And these 3M adhesive, they really work. So I don't have to put screws on there like I used to. These really work, and I like that. And I push that down, and there you go. And you could always adjust it to where you need. All right, so now that I got the wire on your vehicle, you could use a license plate light to get into your vehicle. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and take this screw off, and I can work my way in there. Take it. I'm going to push that inside. Go. Got that clip off. And then what you do is just simply pull this out. Mine's cut like that. All right, now that we got the wire in there, I'm going to just simply push this back in. Put that clip inside first, and then with the wires hanging out here, which is what we want, to put it more to the end, the wire. And now I could just simply push this back in there and push in this clip here. There it goes. And I got the clip, and I'm simply just going to push it back, and that's all we need to do. The wire's there. All right, and now we're done with this part. Now we got to do is look for the wire on this side, and we got it right here. And now we can hook up the wires together. Once you get your rear camera exactly where you want, all you got to do is tighten up the screw that's right there. That's all you got to do. So next we're just going to grab the wire from the rear camera and the wire from the harness going to the front dash cam, and we're simply just going to push them together and turn, and then they'll lock in place just like that. If not, they always have two arrows pointing to each other. Now we're going to go ahead and install the red wire to make this a backup camera. All right, so this is the tail light, and this is the one we need to work into. This is the one when you put your car in reverse, this light turns on, and that's what we want to use that one to activate the backup camera. And these are the wires that come from there. This is a red and black and a white and black. Now anything with black is pretty much a ground, okay? But we know they both have black. Now, so the one with the white and black will be your ground. Any colored wire will be the power. So I'm gonna go ahead and tap into the black and red wire. That's going to be our power. Okay, so this is what I'm going to use. This is called a T-tap. And what this is, you put it around the wire, which you can see I already have some brakes in here from other dash cams. And I'm going to use one of the brakes I have already. And you put the teeth around there, and then you close this. And then this makes a connection. And then you get this terminal, and you put that in there and create a circuit. Now this one here will be to the red wire of our dash cam. So when this light is activated, it will activate the backup camera, which is this wire. So what I'm going to do is connect this wire to this terminal. Here's the wire that I spliced, and you notice I spliced it very long, and that's because I'm going to go ahead and fold this together and create a thicker wire, a thicker gauge. So that's what I'm going to do first. All right, I got the wire here, and I got the terminal. I'm going to put those together. And you can see it coming out the other side. So I'm going to push that back a little bit just so I can make sure I get the wire in there, the copper in there. And I'm just going to squeeze and it'll create a connection. And I'm going to squeeze on the bottom portion of it too. And just to make sure we get a good connection. There you go. It's all in there. It's tight. It's not going to come out. You could tug on the wire now and it's there. All right, so now I'm going to connect the T-tap to this. All right, I got the teeth right where I want them because there's already a break in there. And I'm going to close this. And what you want to do is use some grippers or pliers and just close that together to create a tighter seal. You don't want to break this, but you just want to make sure there's a seal. All right, it's not going anywhere. It's nice and tight. So you see there's terminal in there, right? You can see there's open spaces on the outside. So you want to make sure that terminal goes right in the here. So let's put that together. All right, I got it in there. But you want to make sure it's all the way in. Okay, there you go. You can see it all the way in there. And if I turn it to the other side, you don't see no metal exposed. If you would see metal, that means it's not in the center. All right, so we're good with this. So now we could go ahead and test our backup camera. Now that we know it works, we're going to go ahead and just finish putting this wire together. And we're simply just going to attach it to the wire harness. That's all we're going to do. So let me do that next. All right, all that is done. So now I'm going to put the carpet back on top of the trunk and we could start in the front wiring. All right, once you have the rear camera installed, what you want to do is come to your vehicle and start it up. Now, I know we did install the power cable, but all you got to do is just insert it here and run it all the way down to your power outlet, which is this one right here, your power socket. Once you get that done, then you could just start it up. And what we're going to do is see if the grid lights come up when we put it in reverse, and there it is. And again, you could always just adjust it with your fingertips. There you go. All right, so let's continue. All right, now we're ready to install our power cable, and it's a type C, and I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. Now you notice this cable is routed towards the passenger side because that's the side it wants you to route it, towards the passenger side. Now the last one remaining is the GPS, so I'm going to go ahead and install that one as well. All right, I got it here, and I'm going to insert that one. Now here you can route it towards the driver's side or passenger side, but it looks like it's probably going to be well fed towards the passenger side, and I could route it with the power cord together into the headliner. All right, so now we're ready for the GPS and the power cable, and I'm going to go ahead and just start routing the wires together, and that way I could route it towards the passenger side door. Now for the GPS module, you could actually just put it here and then route the wires inside together. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and install the GPS right next to the rear mirror mount. All right, got it here. I'm going to put it flushed with the headliner. There it goes. And I'm simply just going to push it in there tight. All right, so now I'm ready for the wires. Now I got both of the GPS wire together. I pretty much just folded it in half, and I have the power cable. Now you notice there's 3 wires, again, because I have the starting and the end of the GPS. Because this wire is probably around 3 feet. So that's why I just put it together so I could tuck it in under the headliner. So I'm going to grab all 3. And I'm going to start it close to the GPS module. That way all the wires will be confined together. And I'm simply going to pull down on the headliner just a little. You don't want to pull it too hard. And I'm just going to start them in. All right, so now I got all these wires here. I actually just fit these where they look nice. And you could actually use zip ties, or you could use some Velcro, not Velcro, some Velcro strips, and that way they wrap around the wires and they'll be in there. But I'm going to go closer to the GPS module. I'm going to push those closer. All right, so now I'm going to do, which I'll show you later, how the end result is, how I'm going to have all the wires confined together with probably some Velcro strips. All right, so you can see what I did is I put a zip tie and to hold the wires together. That way they're not sticking out apart from each other. It's not a worry because when you put this up there, you're not really gonna see any of those secures that I put on there. All right, so let's continue with the wiring. All right, now see, this is the GPS module cable. So I'm gonna fold it several times. That way I could just simply tuck it under here. So let's get rid of this GPS cord first. And I'm simply gonna push it down in there. And now you could go the whole length or just find one spot and just push it all together. But I like the whole length together. And that way it's not bulging out on the top. All right, so we got that part done. So all we gotta do now is continue with our power cable. All right, we're at the end. So now we could continue with the A-pillar. All right, just like we did the A-pillar on the opposite side when we're doing the rear camera, we're gonna do the same thing to the passenger side. We're gonna take this part down. We're gonna route the wire inside, but instead of going towards the rear of the vehicle, we're gonna go down to the dashboard. All right, you can see how the wires are inside. So all I gotta do now is push up this A-pillar and that works. Now you can use this weather strip by pulling this out, put the wire in between the headliner and the weather strip, and that could work too all the way down. But I'm just gonna go all the way to it reaches the dashboard. I'm simply gonna put this back. Okay, that's done. So now we can work closer to the dashboard, to the kick plate. All right, so I have the wire here. I'm gonna continue on the side. Now this one has one piece that goes from the top of the dashboard to the kick plate in the bottom. And all you gotta do is use that one. I'm gonna push it right in between. And then I could pretty much close this out. All right, so now I can work on this kick plate. All right, so I'm gonna grab the wire and I'm gonna push up this floor trim because I want the wire behind there and behind this kick plate there. You see that rectangle? That's another clip that the floor trim goes on top of. So what I wanna do is get the wire and push it behind there. So I'm gonna keep on pushing it down and then push it to the left to go inside the cabin. And then I'm gonna get the floor trim and put it back. Just move that wire to the left and put the floor trim back. And then now we can work inside all the way to the back. So at the kick plate, and we're going to continue routing the wire behind this kick plate, behind this carpet. But in order to do that, we have to remove this knob here. And these are simply just a twist off knob. I see most cars with these on. So let me go ahead and do that first. Got it out. Now when I do that, this piece will come out. So I'm actually going to loosen this part up on the side, the trim, and just pull this out completely and it comes out. So now I could do is get our wire, a power cable. All right, we're gonna grab the carpet. We're gonna push it up away from the bolt. And what we're gonna do is grab our wire and we're gonna work it behind the carpet and behind the bolt. That way the bolt's on top, the wire's in the bottom, and there's a carpet. Now we're going ahead and put the kick plate back on. And let me just grab that in there. There it goes. Got it in there. Now pushing it more tight. And then what I'm going to do now is put the floor trim back that was on the right side. You see the right side over here? So now I can push that back and get that connected, because what that's going to do is actually going to hold the kick plate for me. So now I could go ahead and put the screw back. And so let me do that real quick. All right, it's in there. Now what I got to do is just continue working the wire back on behind the carpet, and that's what I want to do. So let me grab the wire with one hand and then one hand push up the carpet and push the wire right behind there, and I'm just moving towards the left at the same time and putting the wire behind there. All right, so I got the power cable here, and I'm going to do now is put it into the power socket in the cigarette lighter area, and we're going to push it in, and that's going to be the connection to power on the camera. And right now the car's not on, so the dash cam's not on. So now I can see exactly where I'm going to route the wire. So I could pull it down from here, and I'm going to run it straight down. And I'm going to probably put it, well, let me push that wire back more in there. And I'm going to push it behind this the side plate, the center console. and we try to grab a place to push it. All right, so I got it in there. Now I'm just going to simply tuck it in and all the way to the carpet. Then I could pull this carpet out and push it, the wire at the same time. Now all this wire here, the slack, I could put it right behind this carpet area. So let me push that up, put it in there, and we should be done. All the wires behind there. All right, and then you can see that there's no wires exposed. All the wires are behind the trim, behind the carpet, behind the A-trim, behind the headliner. There is no wires visible, and this is a clean install. All right, so let's go ahead and continue now. All right, let's go ahead and start the vehicle. There we go, I hear it coming on. You can see the emblem, and then you can actually see outside right now. It says the SD card file system format does not meet the requirements, so we need to format it. We're going to hit OK. Formatting, please wait. And now it says format complete. And here on the bottom right, we could actually see that the red dot is blinking, which is indicating that it's recording. So now we know it works. So now the main thing we got to test is the backup camera. So let's go ahead and do that. But before we do that, let's go ahead and adjust the brightness so you can see exactly what's going on. All right, we're going to click somewhere in the top and we're going to go brighter. We're going to push our finger to the right and that brightens it up and make it a little bit better. I'm going to turn it towards the dash cam. There you go. I'm sorry, turn it towards the camera. All right, let's put it in reverse. There you go. You can see the grid lines there, and that's indicating that it's working. Now let's go ahead and go for a test run on this. All right, so now before we go, you can see how the camera is facing the ground. Again, all you got to do is with your finger, just move it up or down. And then you can also adjust it in the back, but I think this is okay for right now, just to do a test run. So let's go ahead and let's go reverse. Grid lines are there. Now we're able to reverse. There's a car coming behind me. So let's see if you can see that vehicle coming behind me. And of course it's going slow and it's in a park right next to me where I'm trying to go. All right, here we go. And let's go for our test run. All right, there we go. All right, so we did the installation. It works, and hope that vehicle is not going to rob my house, because I'll be right back. And let's see. If this vehicle was helpful for you, please give me that thumbs up. You know, I appreciate that from you. If you have any questions or comments about this dash cam, leave them in the comment section down below and I'll get back to you. If you're interested in this product, I'll put links in the description down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and select all notifications for all upcoming videos, because I got more videos of this dash cam. I have the unboxing, I have the review, and I'm actually going to go over the menu of this product. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.